afternoon or evening, depending on what side of the pond you're on, and welcome to an extra special episode of Across the Pitch. My name is Phil Kennedy, and I'm joined today by Tony Robinson. We're going to speak with Accrington Stanley's Sadou Diallo, who is currently on the loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, he's had quite a career that included a very important goal while playing with the Wolverhampton under-23s, who we'll get to a little bit later. He started his career with Manchester City at their academy and has come over on loan to Accrington this year. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you on today.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me. Hope everyone's okay and safe.
Yeah, we're doing well, Sadou, and looking forward to having a chat with you. And it's a pleasure for us to have you on the show. And as I say, we hope you're all safe and well with your family.
Yeah, I'm well. I'm just home right now in Manchester with all my family, siblings. Yeah, just staying home, staying safe.
Yeah, that's what we're all trying to do right now, is just kind of stay home and stay safe and healthy. And that's where we're doing these podcasts, to kind of give somebody a way to take 45 minutes out of their day and think about football. And
yeah, which is very necessary, especially right now. Staying home as a football player is not easy, because we're always used to moving around and stuff. So the more stuff you're doing, the better.
Now, just to give people a little bit of background on yourself, you were born in Guinea and then grew up in Rotherham, and then you first began your football career at 13 with Manchester City in 2012. So tell us a little bit about your life leading up to signing at Man City.
Yeah, like you said, I was born in Guinea, and then I moved over with my mom when I was like 7. And I settled in Rotherham, which is where I started playing for a professional club for the first time. Rotherham United, the town that I was in, they signed me up after watching me play for school. And then from Rotherham, City bought me from Rotherham. And then from City, Wolverhampton, and now on loan at Accrington. So yeah, that's my football career so far.
And now Rotherham, they're a club that's doing real well in League One. They were at the top when you went on to the break there, and Accrington had already played Rotherham twice this year, and they had proved to be a tough opponent. What was it like seeing them on the other side of the pitch?
Yeah, it was very different, because the disappointing thing for me was that I didn't get to play against them in both games, but it was good to watch them from a far side and then see how much they've developed. And like you said, they're doing very well. They're at the top of the league. And yeah, I was just disappointed not to have played against them, because it's like I had something to prove. But hopefully next time I'll get another opportunity.
Yeah, it looks like you kind of just missed them both times they came around, because you've been playing in a number of games. Like you played in the Shrewsbury and Lincoln City, and one of the things with Accrington is there's just so much depth on the squad, and now you mostly play in an attacking midfield role, but I say that you also played some deeper midfield this year. Was that something new for you? Yeah,
well, my natural position is a midfield player, but I can play in any other positions. Like, I'm adaptable, I think. Like when I got the chance to play further up the field, I was quite comfortable because I've played there before. But my normal position is midfield, but I can play literally anywhere. As long as I'm playing, I don't really mind.
I was just going to ask to just sort of touch on that midfield position, because there's so many different roles that in that midfield. You can be an attacking midfielder, a central attacking midfielder, and then you can play the defensive role, and there's the box-to-box role. Which would you say best describes your play?
This is the question a lot of coaches have been asking me. I think I can do a bit of everything, which is a good thing and a bad thing sometimes, because sometimes coaches don't really know where to put you best, because you can do a bit of everything. So to answer that question, I'd say just midfield, because I can do everything. I can defend, I can get up the field, help out the attack. I can be a goal threat. But like I said, I can defend, I can run back. Do you know what I mean? All of that.
Yeah. It makes you valuable, but then, as you say, it's hard for a manager to sort of slot you into one position. And sometimes when you get in a role of being so versatile, you can end up being sort of a guy that they're relying off the bench to come in for fill a need, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just down to me to if I get my next opportunity to step down the position and just stay in the team by being consistent and then giving your all to the team.
When you had that stretch of runs of matches there in January, I think you had about five or six in a row. Was your role in those matches different, or were they generally all sort of the similar role, or did some get matches you were defending, or some were you more of an attacking midfielder?
I think the first three matches I was playing like as a number 10 because we play as two up front. Yeah. And I was that one player behind the main striker for the first two games, and then the last 3 games I played in my normal position in midfield. But like I said, I enjoy football. I just want to be on the field and play.
What I had marked down with it was that you played in attacking. It was Burton, Peterborough, and Wimbledon, and then you played the midfield for Shrewsbury and Lincoln. That was how I had it marked down.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, you had on those 5 games, you had a pretty decent record for the team. You won 3 and drew 1, so that's a pretty good record for when you were having a good run in the team.
Yeah. I kept telling the manager and the staff that I feel ready to play. I've learned a lot for the time I was there when I wasn't playing, and I'm ready to give my all, and I know that I won't let them down.
We kind of jumped ahead to Accrington, but there's a really, really big season and a really big goal in your career that I want to make sure we talked about. So let me first take us back to 2018-19 and kind of give people a little bit of history on this. So you were playing for the Wolves in Premier League 2 Division 2 that year. Coming into the last game of the season, you needed a win against Manchester United to be able to win the league over Southampton. You ended up going down 2 goals in that game, came back, won that 3-2, and that third goal was put in by you. And we actually posted a video of it on Twitter. So tell us about that season and about that goal, because that has to be a highlight of your career.
Yeah, so far it definitely is up there. Yeah, last year was a very good year. We had a good young team in the Premier League too. I think we should have won the league way before that because we were like miles ahead. But we just took our foot off the gas for the last 10 games. So we did it the hard way, I suppose. But going into the last game, like you said, we was losing 2-0 and we needed the win to make sure that we were given a chance to win the league. Because even if we won that game, Southampton could have still won the league, but they needed to score 11 goals because we had a lot more goals compared to them.
Yeah, I see it was plus 23 goal difference to plus 20, exactly. To plus 16. So you beat them by 7 goals on goal difference, but you needed all 3 points out of that game to
exactly. It was monumental that we had them 3 points. But going into halftime, talking about the game, we were 2-0 down. I think it was halftime 2-0 down, And then everyone was just disappointed in the change room. It was quite quiet, very quiet at halftime, as I remember. But then when we went back out there, everyone just looked deep, and then.
And another thing that I noticed was that on that squad was also Betty Ashley Seal, who has come over to play with you in Accrington. What's it been like having your old teammate from Wolves come over to Accrington now?
Yeah, it's been very good. It's just been disappointing because we've not played as many games as we'd hope. But hopefully after all this coronavirus and all that stuff, we can get back out there and play together more. Yeah,
I think because we're looking at the stats, Phil, and you probably have already got this down, that Ashley Seal had 10 goals, I believe, in 22 matches. That was a heck of a return at that level.
Yeah, it could have had even more as well because, he went on loan in January. So if he had stayed, he would have, scored way more than he did.
Yeah, he was top scorer on the squad with the 10 that you mentioned. That's what I had marked down.
That was quite obviously, if you just see the video, and the one you showed, Phil, was from different angles. It's a great video. You could tell the importance of the goal by the way the celebration and the substitutes, I should say, pretty well tackled you down in the corner there, didn't they?
Yeah.
To go back a little bit further, like I had mentioned in the introduction, you started your Manchester City career in 2012. You were with them through 2018 before you signed with the Wolves. So tell us a little bit about your time with Manchester City. That was something we also kind of skipped over, and I wanted to get back to.
Yeah, my time at City was it was a learning curve. I think it's made me the player I am today because of all the coaching and the schoolwork and just building up your personality. Because at City they believe to make people good people, not just good footballers. So yeah, it was a learning curve, and I learned a lot, and it's made me the player who I am.
And when you were at City, you had a pretty good run in the youth team, didn't you? I think you went to. You played against Barcelona and lost 5-4, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, in the Youth Champions League. Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
Yeah, it was good because Barcelona are believed to be one of the top teams in Europe, not just professional level, but the youth level. Mm-hmm. And Manchester City were a good team as well, so it was a good matchup, but we just lost out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona is one of the teams where even if you don't follow football, you've heard of Barcelona.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a name, isn't it? Everyone's excited. Everyone's excited when you hear the name.
Now, one thing that we wanted to talk about, kind of coming back to your pro career, and this one comes from Peter Latham, who, of course, is the chairman of the Accrington Stanley Supporters Trust. Yeah. He wanted to know, how did it feel when you hit that 25-yard goal at Oldham in the Leasing.com trophy?
Yeah, it was, I think, I felt relieved. I don't know why I say that, but I think I needed to show the team, the manager, something that will make him think, oh, he's ready to go in the team or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bit of a relief for you then when it went in the net. You probably had that sort of a weight lifted a little bit, take the pressure off you.
Yeah, definitely. Because going out on loan as a young player, you need to show that you're ready to play and that you can be trusted. And if you score a goal like that, then it gives the manager something to think about.
And when you went on loan, because this came at the end of the transfer window for you, and so you're thrown into a team that's gone through preseason training. You go into a squad. You've already played some matches at Wolves, and you come in at that time. That's a lot of pressure and quite an adjustment period for you. How did you handle that?
You just have to be professional. You can't really sulk and moan. I just had to be patient, and then I knew my loan opportunity will come. So I just had to stay fit, play the games at Wolves, and then when it comes, just go out and be ready.
So when the loan opportunity came up, I'm assuming that your agent was involved in the team, but how did Accrington Stanley come on the scene?
Yeah, it was mainly through my agent and Wolves. I didn't really know until the last minute, to be honest. But I was just excited to play. Like I said, I love football. I just want to play no matter where I go.
So when you were told Accrington Stanley, did you have to look it up on Google, or did you know anything about the team?
No, I knew of the team. I knew of the team when they were in League One, but I just didn't know where on the map it was.
It's not far.
Not far from Manchester, at least.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was that close to Manchester.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm here in Phoenix, and we have Phoenix Rising Stadium. I live in the center of town, but for me to get to the stadium is about 23 miles. I said if I drove that far in Accrington, I'd already be to Manchester.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I didn't know it was that close.
Which is good for you and your family then, being that close to Manchester.
Yeah, exactly. So I spoke to my mum and I just moved back home instead of staying in an apartment in Accrington. It made more sense to move back home.
I suppose Mum didn't mind that.
Definitely not. She doesn't trust me to be on my own.
Well, that's what mums are for, to worry about you.
Well, one of the things that we hear about, though, is that at Accrington, you go in the morning for training and you make your own breakfast, your own coffee. And it's not like it would be at City where you have a catered chef. So I think at Accrington, you get a little bit of that life experience, too. Yeah,
it makes you a better person. I was speaking to someone at Wolves about it. I said when you go out on loan to clubs like Accrington, it makes you mature quicker. Because you're not spoon-fed with everything like you are at academy level. You have to grow up and look after yourself. And it makes you a better human being, I think.
And and that's what we've heard from other loanees. And if you don't adapt to the surroundings, it's going to hurt you in your professional career and also your personal life, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. If you don't adapt, then you won't really grow as a person, which will affect you on the pitch as well, because you feel like you're not gelling together within the squad, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it also maybe restricts your chances of further loans, or if that does, it may not sit well with your parent company, and they're saying, well, he just didn't adapt, and we may have to reevaluate. But obviously, when you go in with an open mind and embrace the meager surroundings at Stanley, as you say, that helps you grow as a player and a person.
Yeah, definitely. You have to be adaptable. That's a very good word. You have to be.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that is part of what grows the whole family atmosphere at Stanley, and why the players remain so close. One of the things is when we talk to guys like Scott Brown, for instance, who had left the club at the end of last season, and he still remains close and talks to the other players on Accrington, and I think that you just build that relationship where it's not just on the pitch, but you guys are friends off the pitch too, and then that helps you when you get to game time.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's a family-oriented club, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But as soon as you come to the games or come to watch us train, I think you'd feel it straight away. That's what I felt as soon as I came in. Like, everyone treated me maturely, treated me like a man. Whereas if you're at academy level, like, you're seen as a young boy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the things we've heard from, it's just constant for players we interview, is that they say as soon as they walk in the door, they can feel it's a family atmosphere, and they feel that, that people buy into the crest that's on their chest, and it sort of hits them straight away. It's not like 3 or 4 weeks down the road. You sort of feel that soon. And that happened to you?
Yeah, I felt it straight away. Because I don't know if you've seen the stadium, if you've ever been there, any of you, but it's quite, you feel the supporters almost. You can almost touch them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, actually, I travel over every year for about 4 or 5 matches. And I'm fortunate to sit in a couple of seats near where Andy Alt is, so I hear Jimmy Bell, I hear Andy Alt. So
yeah,
you're not quite telling the whole story there, Tony. What street did you grow up on?
Well, when I was born, the first street I lived on was in Accrington, called Stanley Street, and that's the street where the original Stanley team players lived, and they decided to call it. It was Stanley Villa. And then when Accrington FC dropped out, they adopted the town name, dropped Villa, and became Accrington Stanley. So it has a ties to the first street I lived on in Accrington. So, which is quite interesting, and it's a bit of trivia, really.
It's in your blood. It's in your blood.
Yeah, in my blood, exactly.
Now, Tony, you have those fun questions that we do, and while we're on the topic of Accrington and so you're a Rotherham and Manchester guy. So you're a northern guy, because some of these are north versus south centric questions. But Tony, do you want to get your rapid fire ready?
Yeah, are you ready to cue up the sound, Phil? Okay, we just have some fun with these questions, Sadou. So it's just Don't take it too seriously. And if you don't, there's no wrong or right answer. So, first of all, would you prefer the Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
The Beatles.
Okay. Mushy or garden peas?
Garden peas.
On your bacon butty, red or brown sauce?
Brown.
Okay. If you were to have a glass of wine, and this is from Mark Hughes, would it be red or white?
I don't drink alcohol, so.
Neither.
Okay, well,
A glass of water.
So tea or coffee?
Tea. I'm a tea guy. Yeah, tea.
Okay, I'm coffee, but I think that in England,
You're
tea.
American, so you have to be coffee. Even
when I was a young lad in Accrington, the other thing that we were offered was what we called Corporation Pop, which was tap water. So that's another option. If you were to have a full English, would you have it with or without black pudding?
Without.
Without. And if you were to watch a soap opera, would you watch Coronation Street or EastEnders?
EastEnders for sure.
All right. Okay. And if you were to have a beer, and this is, I'll go along if you don't, if you're not a drinker, but this is one for that came in for David Burgess. So if you were to have a beer in happy hour after the match, would it be Aki Ale or Foster's?
I don't know how to answer that because I don't know the taste, so I don't know. I don't drink. I don't know.
Okay. So
Aki Ale is the right answer.
Maybe if you use different drinks, and I'll answer it.
Yeah, Aki Ale's the right answer. So, okay. Would you watch Sunderland Till I Die? Yes or no?
Would I watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah, I want to watch it actually. Yeah.
Okay. And this is we're getting more into now that we see a lot more TV and binge watching. If you were to binge watch a program, would you binge watch Line of Duty or Ozark?
Line of Duty.
Yeah, that's a good program. That I've seen that one.
I've not seen none of them, but I've heard recommendations. So. Yeah,
and Ozark's a great program as well. You won't go wrong with either one. So, and
anything you've been watching that you recommend? We've been having every player make a recommendation for their favorite show for our listeners. You got a favorite show you've been watching, Sadou?
Right now, Money Heist. The new season just came out, but I finished it in a day because I was that hooked. So, yeah, it's really good.
What was the name of that, Sadou?
Money Heist.
Okay. Okay, I've seen that. I've seen that advertised. I'll have a look at that one.
Yeah, you should. Really good. Really, really good.
Excellent. Now we have a few other questions here. Now Tony asks that Beatles or Rolling Stones, and I said that the younger generation may have heard the Oasis versus Blur debate more often. Do you have a pick from Oasis versus Blur?
Oasis, because I know them more, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody can agree on that. And then we have a couple North American questions here. Tony, like we said, is originally from Accrington, now lives in Canada. And in Canada, they serve a dish called poutine, which is chips, gravy, and cheese curds. He thinks it would be a hit at the concession stands in Accrington. Is this something that you'd like to try?
Chips, yeah, definitely. Chips.
See?
You can't go wrong with chips.
No, you see, the nice thing, you have the hot chips, you put the cheese on it to melt a bit, and then pour gravy on it. I mean, what's not to love with that, right?
I know. It sounds delicious already.
There you go.
I think it's pretty good too. They serve it at the hockey games, so I get it over here once in a while. But the last thing that we have is I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. We're into hot and spicy foods. We put jalapeno peppers on our pizza. Would you like jalapeno peppers on your pizza?
Is it hot?
Oh yeah, it's hot. It's good stuff. Joe Bursick said pineapple. So would you rather have jalapeno or pineapple?
No, jalapeno. Not pineapple on pizza. No way.
No way. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the jalapenos are good. I'm going to send some jalapenos over to Accrington when the summer starts. We get the fresh ones here in Arizona. I'll send them over, and you guys can all have jalapenos over there.
After the game, we'll put it on. No problem.
Awesome. Tony, did you have other rapid fire, or are we going to get back to football questions?
Oh, I think I'm good on that. I think we've gone through it seems like 11 or 12 now we've got. So, I think I'm good.
That's a fun thing because, just kind of you get to know people, and then your teammates throw in some questions. Did you have one that you wanted to throw in for us to ask your teammates in the future?
Yeah, I've seen your Twitter page, so I'll definitely comment something there in the future.
All right. Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate that. So let's move back to the football pitch a little bit. And one of the things that we didn't ask you about is you did in 2017 make an appearance with the England under-19 team. What was it like to be able to put the England crest on and represent your country?
Yeah, it was a proud moment. I don't know if you know, but I played for them from the 16s, 17s, 18s, 19s. The 19 was my last call-up. I played for them from the 16s up to 19. Yeah, I was very proud. I was very proud.
I was just going to ask, too, because of obviously you're born in Guinea, would you have the opportunity if they come calling and said, we want you to try out for our national team? Is that something you would consider, or would you rather stay with and try and progress in England, the team, England national?
Right now, my main focus is to become more established in a club football environment, like play more football, be recognised as one of the starters and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then think about international.
Because there is two different careers, isn't there? If you play an international at a younger level, if you play, that's one thing. But like you say, it's for your career. It's very important to get established at the club level, and that's sometimes for young players is actually secondary to some international play, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because international, it's not a full season. Whereas club football is the full season, run a game like 38 games or whatnot. So yeah, that's my main focus right now, and then we'll see about the international in the future, hopefully.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the club, I did have a couple other questions from Peter Latham here, and one of the things that he wanted me to ask you are, who are the strong personalities of the Stanley dressing room, and who are some of the guys that when you first came to the club are kind of the leaders of the dressing room?
There's a lot. I'd say Mark Hughes, you mentioned him before. He's definitely one. Sean McConville, Dimitar, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, we had Dimmy on about 4 months ago. He was really having a great season until he got that injury, so maybe time off.
Yeah.
Yeah, those lads from Liverpool like to have a bit of fun in the changing room, don't they?
Yeah, they're a good laugh. even the coaches and the staff, they're a good laugh. I enjoy the banter.
Yeah, and then the other thing that Peter wanted us to ask you about, or what are some of your hobbies outside of football? What are some of the things you've been up to on the break and things like that?
I like fashion. So I like buying stuff, shoes. It shouldn't be a hobby, but I'm just into it.
So, are you the best dresser in the dressing room, Sadou? Are you the best one looking?
That's not for me to answer, but I've got my own style. I've got my own style, so everyone's got their own styles. You can't really judge.
Oh, okay, so let's throw this one at you. Who's the worst dresser in the dressing room?
You're going to put me on the spot. The worst dresser.
Yeah. Who would come in with different socks on kind of thing, or wear a pair of pants that doesn't go with the jacket?
Yeah, who bought the red pants?
I'd say it's not the worst dress, but Joe the left back.
Oh, Joe McGuire.
Yeah, it's not the worst dress, but he's got his own twist to it. I'll tell you that.
I think he concentrates on rock climbing. That's probably why he's not into fashion.
And if he's building those owl boxes, I mean, he doesn't want to get the owl droppings on his good suit.
He's into painting and all of that. He paints in his spare time, so maybe it comes from there.
Yeah.
And then the last question, and then this is something we covered a little bit earlier, but this was the last question that Peter had sent in was, how easy did you settle into life away from your friends and family? And I know you kind of answered that, is that you're not that far away because they're down in Manchester, but how has it been? Kind of adjusting to a new place in general, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I live at home in Manchester, so it wasn't really as big of a change. The only change was going into a new team and then trying to implement my football. That was the only big difference. But outside of football, I was fine. I was home, so.
Do you think, though, this is something as far as a loan position, going to a smaller team from obviously a big club like Wolves? Would you recommend that to every player, that they go to a team in a lower league to sort of get this overall experience and sort of adaptability into their life?
Yes, definitely, because first of all, the style of football is different, and the living, what you get from the club and stuff like that. But mainly because of the style of football, you need to be able to adapt to how different teams play. So you're not just like focus on one style of play. You have to be able to deal with like long balls, playing on the floor, the physical fight, the endurance and all of that stuff. And yeah, when you come down to a lower league clubs, you experience all of that in one game pretty much. Whereas if you're at the higher teams, you don't really sometimes you don't really experience that.
Yeah, I think that some of the things that the other guys we've talked to who have played for the youth teams and they made the move over to Stanley in the past year or two is that one of the biggest differences that in League One, you're playing against men that maybe have 10, 15 years of experience. And then also, like you said, that you have to deal with some teams playing the long ball, some teams working up from the back, where with the youth level, everybody's trying to play as technical of a game as possible.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be too focused on playing a good football, because if you come up against an experience like someone like Mark Hughes, if you played against a Mark Hughes, he'd be more experienced than you. He'd have played 400 odd games, so he'd outsmart you in a way. So you have to be able to adapt and just add it to your game, and hopefully it makes you a better player.
How would you describe the difference between under 23 play to League One play?
There's a lot on the line with League One football because it's a professional game at the end of the day. People have families to feed. Everyone trains to play on a Saturday and win. Where sometimes under 23s football, if you don't win, the coaches can be like, "Oh, you learn from this and you take into the next game." But in League One, you don't really know when your next game is going to be if you don't perform. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an individual and then as a team as well. So you have to put it in every day, especially on game days.
Yeah, I mean, promotions and relegations on the line.
Yeah, there's a lot hanging on it. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot hanging on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not that there's not promotions and relegations in the youth division, but it's a little different when you have something like, the future of a club that's been around for 150 years, and it's just it allows you to become part of a team that's part of a community, and I think that's part of the lower league experience too, is being in the Premier League. A lot of it is just kind of almost like a TV show, but then when you get that lower league experience, you're actually a part of the community. You're at schools handing out shirts to kids and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said before, at the stadium, it feels like you can almost touch the fans. Whereas maybe at big clubs, it's a bit distant. The players and the fans, they're a bit distant maybe. But yeah, lower league clubs, it's definitely like a family. It's very family orientated, especially Accrington. I'd definitely say that.
Absolutely. Now, one guy we haven't talked about with you a whole lot yet is John Coleman, the gaffer, and of course it must be something just getting a chance to go and play with a guy who's overseen 4 promotions, and he is a bit of a living legend in the lower leagues, if you will. And what was it like getting to first getting to find out that you get to play for John Coleman, and then what's the experience been like under him? Because I especially know that he's been known to work especially with the attacking players because he was one himself when he played.
Yeah, but he does work with the attacking players, but I think he works with everyone individually. He speaks to you individually, tries to, like, you can go up to him at any time and speak to him about your game, how you can get better. Or say, like, if you're not playing, you can approach him and speak to him, say, why am I not playing? And he'll speak to you and explain to you what you need to do or why you're not playing, and so on and so on. But yeah, he's been very good. Like you said, he's a bit of a legend in the lower league. So I've been enjoying it. I'm trying to learn all I can learn from him and the rest of the staff. And hopefully it keeps giving me these chances that I need to show on the pitch how good I am.
When it come time to extend your loan, which obviously was done in early January, is that something that was initiated by Wolves, or would John Coleman sort of talk to your parent club and say, I want to keep this player?
I think Accrington approached Wolves, said we want to keep him, which I was delighted that I heard, because I felt like I had to prove something. I didn't really play before that, and I didn't want to go back to Wolves having not played hardly anything.
Yeah.
Apart from that was probably my highlight so far. But I definitely know I've got more in me to show to the fans, to the manager, to the teammates. There's definitely more in the locker. Definitely more to come. That's why I was happy to extend it. I didn't want to leave on a bad note.
Yeah, and I think that's what John Coleman likes in a player. He likes that, like the attitude and the desire and the character that you've shown. And with that, that's, as I say, typical of what he wants. And with that, you'll do well. I've no doubt about it.
Yeah, I just hope it carries on. Like you said, in those one of the games I was playing, I was doing well. The team was winning and stuff like that, and I was enjoying it very much. It was just a bit of a blow to be left out of the team again, just all before this corona. But hopefully get back out there and then show them how good I am again.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because right now it sounds like you're at that point in your career where getting that time on the pitch and getting those league minutes and like you said, getting to play with and against guys with the experience of a Mark Hughes, for instance, is what's going to help you to advance your career. And when you go back to Wolves, eventually you'll break into the first team there, because I'm sure that's your long-term goal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just want to learn as much as I can, especially when you play like Mark, because he demands a lot from the team and individually, which is something that I need as a player. I can tend to drift in games. I can have good spells and then drift off a bit and then have good spells again. But I need someone on my back a lot.
Yeah, that's something that we've heard about Mark time and again, is that he's not a guy who's afraid to get after guys. But guys have so much respect for it that when Mark talks, you just kind of listen, because everything that he's done in his career, and not only that, but we talk about how many guys played next to him that have gone on to bigger, better things. So with Mark and John Coleman, and you can't forget Captain Keneally or Jordan Clark. I mean, you just have so many guys out there with so much experience.
That's why I said everyone's pretty much a leader in the change room. A lot of them, they've been through it all, they've done it all. So who am I not to listen right now? Do you know what I mean? In a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well said.
All right, well, Sadou, we don't want to take up too much more of your time, but we really appreciate you coming on today. Tony, did you have any other questions that we hadn't asked?
No, I think we've covered his career and obviously his his desire to adapt and exceed and prove himself at Stanley. And I think Stanley's better for that. And we certainly wish him continued success in his personal life, in his career. And hopefully that's more games in Accrington Stanley Red. And if not, all the best with your time at Wolves.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. But yeah, there's definitely more to come for me. Watch out.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, and it was definitely a joy to have you on the show today, and we hope that we could do it again in the future. And like Tony said, we hope to see more goals from you in Stanley Red or Wolverhampton or wherever your career takes you. We think that you have a bright, successful future. And we always finish up with an on Stanley
on.
Sorry.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Stay safe.
Yeah, be safe and be well. Cheers.
Be safe.
Take care. Take care. Bye.